Welcome to another Restaurant Tycoon 3 video. As you can see, I've built a lot in this game and I've gotten pretty good at it. One of my designs got really popular and I've picked up a lot of tricks and tips throughout my building journey. I'm using an AI voiceover today because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to these tips. Now, let's get into it. Okay, so before we go over actual tips, let's talk about something that'll make building in Restaurant Tycoon 3 a lot easier and more manageable. First, we have to look at the grid system. If you click the grid button up top or press G on your keyboard, it'll change the grid size from 4 to 2 to 1. 1 is the smallest grid, and you can get insanely detailed with it. Next, we have the arrows on the left-hand side once you open build mode. You can select which floor you're going to be building on, and when you're building on multiple floors, this will save you a bunch of headaches. Lastly, we have probably the most useful tool, which is the pick tool. Basically, you can hover over anything and click it, and it'll give you that exact object. So, if we come over to this pillar right here and choose it, we're left with a brick pillar with the same color and texture as the one we selected. For the first tip, we have this plain wall right here. A lot of builders will leave a wall completely blank, and it just doesn't look too good. If you want to be a good builder, you have to fill it in with some details at least. So let's go ahead and look at this wall over here. One of my favorite ways to detail walls is by using pillars, vertical slabs, lower walls, trims, and all these little extra blocks you can find in the block section. If you use a smaller grid, you can get insanely detailed with how you design your wall, and there's really no limit to how creative you can get. Of course, you can always add some scenic nature at the bottom for another pop of color. Then you can add a window or two if you want, but just choose the one that suits it best. When choosing your colors, you want something that complements the original color, or you can simply go with a darker shade of it. So yeah, here are the blocks that I like to use. The chair trim, vertical panel, lower wall trim, upper wall trim, and the brick pillar. You can always recolor and retexture these however you like. The more you use them, the better your builds will look. It'll make them look 10 times better. Moving on to the next tip, we have this nice little room that I just built. If we turn around, you can see how the ceiling is awkward. There's this big gap between these two walls and the ceiling. If we don't want that, we can place a wall here and cover it up. This is just a temporary wall. Once it's in place, we can use a vertical or horizontal panel here and go across like this, placing some panels down. Then we can sell the temporary wall and boom, it should be connected like that. Now you're not left with a big gap. It looks a lot cleaner, and you can texture it however you like. Overall, it'll fit the theme of whatever style you're trying to go for. Now for this next tip, we have a trick with floors. When you click on building a floor, you have the option to change the height. With multiple heights, you can create what looks like a carpet sitting on top of another floor. You have your main floor here, which is just a wooden floor, but on top of it we have a carpet. It can also be applied in another way. We have this little garden box here. We just have a floor that is 0.6 height, and we changed it to a dirt texture. Then we used a custom height wall, which you can also find in the build menu, and set it to a height of 1. This makes it look like a little garden box. Over here, I filled it with flowers and changed the colors, so now you have a nice little flower box. It looks pretty cool. Then over here, playing with these custom height walls again, we have a small custom wall. This can also be retextured and recolored to anything you want that fits your theme. I find it works really well as a divider between rooms when you still want that open concept feel in your build. Next, we have basically the opposite of this custom wall. Instead, we want the custom wall on the ceiling. What I mean by that is we'll place a temporary wall going across here and then fill it in using horizontal panels. You can make any design you want, but I'm going with this simple design. Then we're going to put TVs up here. Normally, you couldn't place TVs up here without a wall behind them, which is why the wall is temporary right now. Once you have your design finished, you can delete the wall, and now you have a nice TV setup on your ceiling feature without the temporary wall being visible. Going back to the floor trick and using a super small grid, you can create really cool curvy trails. Just make a curved path and fill it in with bushes, rocks, and little patches of grass. I found these stepping stone rocks that you can recolor, and they look really good when everything is put together. It creates this cool, fancy pathway and really brings the area to life. Next, we have the flower pot and bush trick. If you use a larger bush, you can hide the flower pot itself while still seeing the flowers. That makes it look like a rose bush, when really it's just a flower pot hidden inside a bush. Now, the final tip I'll show you guys is the dig tool. A lot of people don't know about it. It lets you delete the ground below a 2x2 square and replace it with air, water, or ground. Most people go with water because you can create a pond like this. What you want to do is delete a small section, then add bushes around the edges and curve it into whatever shape you want. Then there you go. You have a nice little pond. You can add paths and rocks around it for extra detail, and it ends up looking really good. Anyways, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, please show your support by liking, subscribing, or both if you really want to help me out. I'll see you guys again soon.